We spend so much time thinking about what we eat, but have you ever really thought about what you do right after you eat? Turns out some of our most common habits, the ones we don't even think about, could be silently doing some real damage to our stomachs. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into those hidden dangers and, more importantly, what you can do about them.
Okay, so picture this. You've just finished a great meal. What's the very first thing you do? Seriously, think about it. Do you immediately lie back on the couch, maybe grab a coffee or some tea to settle everything? Or, let's be real, you probably just picked up your phone and started scrolling, right? These things feel completely normal, part of the routine. But, as we're about to find out, they might not be as harmless as they seem.
And here's the crazy part. That moment right after you eat, when you're feeling all full and relaxed, that's actually when your stomach is at its weakest. It is working its absolute hardest, churning away with all this acid to break down your food. Its lining is super sensitive. So what you do in those first, say 30 to 60 minutes, it can have a huge impact on your health down the road.
So why are we making such a big deal about this little window of time? Well, because when you repeatedly put your stomach under stress day after day, it can lead to some really serious problems. And one of the most serious, and one of the quietest, is early-stage stomach cancer. You see, the real danger here is that the symptoms are, well, they're super normal. We're talking about cancer cells starting to grow in the lining of your stomach. But the signs? Things like heartburn, bloating, what feels like just a bit of indigestion. It's so easy to just brush that stuff off and think nothing of it.
But, and this is a huge but, look at this number. When it's caught early, the 5-year survival rate is between 71 and 75%. That's massive. It just goes to show you, paying attention to these little habits and actually listening to what your body is telling you, it's not just a nice to do. It can literally be a lifesaver.
Okay, so if catching it early is the key, what are we doing that's contributing to the risk in the first place? Let's get into it. We're going to break down 6 super common habits that a lot of us do after eating that can really, over time, mess with your stomach.
All right, number 1, the classic move, flopping right onto the couch after a big meal. We all do it. We think we're relaxing, letting our food settle, but here's what's actually happening. When you lie down flat, you take gravity out of the equation, and that lets all that powerful stomach acid just slosh right back up into your esophagus. That's acid reflux, and when you do that over and over again, it can cause chronic inflammation. Think of it like a constant low-grade sunburn, but on the inside.
Now look, we're not talking about that one time you did this after Thanksgiving dinner. This is all about the small, daily habits that add up. I love this quote from one of our sources. It says, "Cancer isn't nourished by one wrong move. It's nourished by thousands of identical wrong moves, a little bit each day, in silence." That really hits home, right? It's not just about how you sit or lie down, though. What you drink right after a meal is also a huge deal. So many of us, myself included, love to have a hot tea or coffee right away. We think it helps with digestion, cleanses the palate, But the truth is, those drinks can really throw a wrench in the works when your stomach is already going full tilt.
Let me break it down for you. In tea, you've got these things called tannins. They can actually stop your body from absorbing important stuff like iron and protein by as much as 60%. Then you've got caffeine in both coffee and tea, which basically tells your stomach, hey, make more acid, which can lead to irritation. And what about a nice cold glass of iced water? Feels great, but that cold temperature makes the fats from your food harden up, making them way tougher to digest. Hello, bloating.
Okay, now for a couple of habits that are particularly bad right after you eat: smoking and alcohol. See, right after a meal, your blood is pumping to your stomach to help with digestion. This means your body sucks up things like nicotine and alcohol way faster and way more intensely. Nicotine literally chokes off the blood supply your stomach needs, and alcohol, well, it's just a direct irritant to that sensitive stomach lining.
You've probably heard of the gut-brain connection. And let me tell you, it is real and it is powerful. You might think getting into a stressful conversation or an argument is just in your head, but your stomach feels every second of it. Your body goes into fight or flight mode. And what happens then? It pulls blood away from your stomach to send it to your muscles. And at the exact same time, stress tells your stomach to pump out more acid. It's like a double whammy. Less protection and more acid. And what about the flip side? Doing something healthy, like hitting the gym right after eating to burn it off? It sounds like a good idea, right? But it actually does the exact same thing as stress. A tough workout pulls all that blood away from your stomach and sends it to your arms and legs. Your digestion just stalls. It's why you can get cramps or feel super bloated if you exercise too soon. And last but not least, a really common one in our busy lives: eating late and then heading straight to bed.
Think of it this way. Your stomach has two jobs. During the day, it's on the digestion shift, but overnight, it's supposed to be on the repair shift, fixing its lining and getting ready for the next day. When you eat late, you're forcing it to work overtime on digestion, so it never gets to its repair work. Do that night after night, and it just gets worn down.
Okay, so those are the habits to watch out for. But what happens when your body tries to tell you something's up? Let's talk about the early warning signs that you absolutely cannot ignore.
So here are 7 big ones. And the key word I want you to remember is persistent. Look, anybody can get a stomachache now and then, but if you have pain or heartburn or bloating that just sticks around, that's a different story. Same thing if you lose your appetite out of the blue, or you're losing weight without trying, or you're just tired all the time. If it's persistent, that's your body waving a red flag, telling you it's time to see a doctor.
And there's one symptom here that needs its own spotlight. If you are ever vomiting and see blood, and it could be bright red or it could be dark and look like coffee grounds, do not wait. That is a serious sign that you need to get medical help immediately.
All right, we've talked about a lot of the don'ts, the risks, the bad habits, the warning signs, but now for the best part, the do's. Let's get into the simple, totally doable things you can start doing to protect your stomach.
And the best news of all, it's not too late. None of this is about making some drastic, life-altering change overnight. You literally have the power to start making a difference with your very next meal. Today.
So remember that whole thing about not lying down right after you eat? You might be thinking you have to wait for hours. But get this, the magic number is just 30 minutes. That's it, just half an hour. That little pause can make a world of difference for preventing that acid reflux.
So let's put it all together. Here's your new, healthy post-meal routine. Number 1, wait at least 30 minutes before you lie down for a nap. Number 2, swap that hardcore workout for a nice, gentle walk. Number 3, hold off on that coffee or tea for at least an hour. 4, try to make meals a time for calm, not for stressful conversations. And 5, try to finish eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. See? Each one is just a small tweak, but they add up to something big.
And of course, it's not just what you do after you eat, but what you eat in the first place. More fresh fruits and veggies is always a win. Try to cut back on super salty, smoked, or heavily processed foods that can irritate your stomach. And here's a super easy one. Just swap that iced water for room temperature water with your meals. It's a small thing that makes digestion just a little bit easier.
So, let's just leave it with this thought. Our bodies are talking to us all the time, through these little signs of comfort or discomfort. After hearing all this, maybe just take a second to think. What is your stomach trying to tell you? And are you ready to finally start listening?